Hello and welcome to English for Communication 1. My name is Gary Linton and today I'm going to talk to you about our first unit, Unit 1, how to introduce yourself. So, what are we going to cover in this unit? Well, we're going to take a look at some examples of using the language, introducing yourself, how we say hello and goodbye, and also, where are you from? One of the basic questions we ask people when we first meet them. The second part, we'll take a look at some grammar, and we're going to focus on how to use the verb to be, is, am, are. And we'll also take a look at some other verbs like, live, and have. We'll also touch on using possessive adjectives and the apostrophe S when we're wanting to show things in written text. The third part, we'll move on to vocabulary, and we'll talk a bit about vocabulary we use to describe our family, relationships, and some information, personal details. Of course, the final part, or the first part really, I guess, will be the test. You can do that before and after doing the videos from this unit. So let's get started with section 1, our video for today, language in use. So these will be real world examples of introducing yourself. Some of the things we might say when we meet new people. We obviously want to have a friendly greeting. So some phrases like, hello, hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We also use phrases like, how are you? Nice to meet you. Things like that. And we'll see these used. We also share basic information about ourselves. So maybe things like, what is your name? What's your name? How old are you? What do you do? Where are you from, or where do you live? And we might ask about family. Are you married? Do you have children? Things like that. We'll also see examples of being interested in others. People like to talk to people who seem interested in what they have to say. So showing that you're listening and paying attention and engaging in the conversation. We'll use a few phrases. What about you? Oh, really? Ah, I see. Wow. Ooh, So we'll have a look at some of those. So let's start by taking a look at an introduction. And this is me introducing myself. Hello, my name is Gary Linton, and I'm from Paisley in Scotland. I'm 50 years old and live in Songkhla in Thailand, where I work as an English language teacher at Songkhla Ratchapat University. I'm happy and I enjoy teaching as I'm quite outgoing and talkative. I live near the university with my girlfriend, our 2 dogs and 4 cats. Oh, and we also have a daughter. Our daughter's name is Mei-Lin. She's all grown up and is a computer teacher at a college in the north of Thailand. So here the example is a short introduction where I talk about myself. You can see we have the greeting. Hello. A few basic facts about myself. My name is Gary. Where am I from? Where do I live? So I was born in Paisley, which is in Scotland. For any of you who don't know where Scotland is, it's part of the United Kingdom or Great Britain. I'm 50 years old. No, it's really true. I know I look much younger, but really 50. And I live in Songkhla in Thailand. So you can see I'm using I'm from and I live. Not necessarily the same thing, but they might be for you. I work. What do you do? If we ask someone, what do you do for a living? What is your job? I work as an English language teacher. And I also tell them where do I work, some of those basic facts, at Songkla Rajapat University. Now, I want to share a little bit about myself as well, so I give some information using some adjectives here. I'm happy. I enjoy my life. I like to teach. I enjoy teaching. As I'm quite outgoing and talkative. So these are two more adjectives I've used to describe myself. These help me as a teacher. Being outgoing means that I'm not shy and I'm happy to speak to people. It's a little bit like talkative. I like to talk. And as a teacher, that really helps me, so it fits with describing my job. I go on to expand a little about where I live. I live in Songkla. But where in Songkla? So I live near the university. That would be Songkla Rajapat University, where I work. Who do I live with? Well, I live with my girlfriend. This is my girlfriend here. You can see the beautiful lady I've just circled. And our two dogs. She's holding one of them and the other one is down here in the corner looking a little shy with the pussycat. And 4 cats. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. My daughter, whose face is kind of hidden up in the corner here, Maylin, I mention as almost as an afterthought. Oh, I forgot. We have a daughter. So daughter is the family relationship. Girlfriend, daughter, words to refer to members of my family. You'll notice here as well, I use the pronoun our, my girlfriend and I, our daughters, an apostrophe S. And we'll look at that in the grammar point later about possessive. My daughter's name is Maylin. She's all grown up. Again, I'm using contractions with the verb to be. She is all grown up and is a computer teacher at a college in the north of Thailand. So there's lots of examples of phrases there, introducing and sharing a little bit about my life that you can adapt and use for yourself. So let's take a look at some examples of question and answers. Most of the time when we meet people, we speak to them by asking questions and answering questions. So here's a short question and answer example of how to introduce yourself and meet someone. Hi, I'm Tom. What's your name? It's Sam, short for Samantha. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Sam. What's your surname? It's Fraser. How do you spell that? It's Frasier. So you see in this example, this is probably a slightly more formal introduction where you're meeting someone for a particular reason, maybe business related, that we don't normally ask our friends how to spell their surname. But if you were at a job interview or something like that, and you meet someone, you might. Hi, I'm Tom. So the phrase there, quite friendly, and telling someone your name before asking for theirs is quite nice. What's your name? What is your name? It's Sam, short for Samantha. So that's, in Thailand, most of you guys will use a nickname. So that's a way Sam is really a nickname for Samantha. So my name's Samantha, but call me Sam. And Sam adds, nice to meet you, which is a nice phrase we use when we first meet people. The response for nice to meet you too, Sam. You don't need to say the to. You'll notice that Tom doesn't bother here. This little these are sort of hesitations. The little sounds we make when we speak naturally, when we're thinking of what to say. Oh, ah. So you'll find that people say those a lot. And I just wanted to reflect that. What's your surname? Surname means your family name or last name. In this case, Samantha Fraser. It's Fraser. And because there may be a different way to spell it, Tom wants to know how Samantha spells her name. And she spells it out each letter at a time. F-R-A-S-I-E-R. And you could possibly spell the name in different ways. So that might be something you ask people if you're filling in documents. The conversation carries on. And Tom goes on to ask, so, Sam, where are you from? It's nice to use someone's name when you speak to them. It sounds friendly and it helps make a connection with people. And he's asking, where are you? Where were you born? Where did you grow up? Where are you from? I'm originally from here in London, but I grew up in Bristol. So this tells us that Sam and Tom are meeting somewhere in London. But that's not where Sam's originally from. She did not grow up, in London. Her family moved to Bristol, another city in England, and she spent her childhood in Bristol. Oh, really? Small world. This is a sort of idiomatic phrase where what Tom's saying is, I'm surprised that you're from Bristol. There's billions of people in the world, but it turns out Tom's also from Bristol. So we use small world to show, oh, I'm the same, I'm like that, oh, that's me too. Where we have something in common with another person. Sam clarifies, what are you Bristolian? So if you're from Bristol, you are a Bristolian. If he were from London, he'd be a Londoner. Yeah is a nice way to say yes. My family's from Bedminster. I just moved here last year. So Bedminster is just an area within the city of Bristol. It's like saying I'm from Songkhla. I'm from Kaurop Chang in Songkhla. Wow, I know it well. We need to swap stories later. So a little friendly interaction, both from the same place originally, and they can talk about that as something they have in common. So let's take a look at some of the phrases you can pick up and use. And here it's important to remember, as you start to learn, don't be afraid to mix things up. Don't always just say, hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you, and you. Change it. Hi, I'm Tom. Hello, my name's Tom. Good morning. Hi there. There's a few different ways that you could say hello. We can use the good morning, good afternoon, and so on. When giving someone your name, we saw it's Sam, short for Samantha. You could also say, I'm Samantha, but call me Sam. That's quite an easy way for you guys in Thailand when many of you use your nickname more than anything else. For example, my girlfriend, my name is Utai, but my friends call me Beer. So we can use that to introduce yourself. It was, it is. If we're meeting someone at the beginning, we say, it is nice to meet you. If we leave that to the end of the conversation, we normally say it has been nice to meet you. So it's nice to meet you, it was nice to meet you. We don't just need to say nice, you could swap in good. It's good to meet you. Great. It's great to meet you. Lovely. It's lovely to meet you. Or you can change the to meet you, to see you. To see you again, if it's not the first time you've ever met the person. So don't be shy about mixing up some of these phrases and try different options. We also often want to know the same thing about each other. What's your name? Where are you from? We can ask the same question back to a person by using these phrases here. And you? Where are you from? I'm from Scotland. And you? Oh, I'm from Thailand. Where are you from? I'm from Scotland. How about you? Oh, I'm from Thailand. Or just yourself. Where are you from? I'm from Scotland. Yourself? By raising the tone at the end, makes it a question. Yourself? It's really the same as and you. Oh, I'm from Thailand. So, a few more examples of some phrases you can use when we want to know if someone's okay. Sabai di mai. How are you? I'm sure you've all been asked that. How are you today? You'd be surprised how many people make the mistake of saying today is Tuesday because they only hear the word today. When you're learning a language, just changing one word in a phrase you know can really throw you off. So it's useful to mix them up and see some of the variety in the way you can say things. How are things? How are you doing? How's it going? How's work? How's life? How's the family? These are all nice friendly phrases we can use to inquire, to ask about people and show we're interested in them. We also ask about where people come from. Where are you from? I'm from Scotland. Where do you live? I live in Songkhla. Have you always lived in Songkhla? No, I used to live in Hat Yai. These are interesting questions because we answer them differently depending on where we are. Someone asked me here, where are you from? I'm from Scotland. But if I were in Scotland or in the United Kingdom, I wouldn't say I'm from Scotland. I'd say I'm from Paisley. So most of you, if you're speaking to someone in Thailand about Thailand, you'd say I'm from and the town. If you're in Songkhla and you're from Songkhla, we normally say the area. I'm from Khao Rop Chang, because we get more and more specific the closer we are. But if you go to America, for example, we'd just say, where are you from? I'm from Thailand. And we probably don't share much more. We always have to end conversations. So a few of the phrases we use at the end, saying goodbye. I've got to run. See you later. Goodbye. We'll catch up next week. Hope to see you again. So these are some of the things that we might use at the end of a conversation as we're saying farewell, and we sometimes use more than one together. I've got to run. We'll catch up next week. Goodbye. Hope to see you again. So you can mix them up and play with them and practice different ways to say goodbye. And as I mentioned, we do like to show we're interested during a conversation. So as we're listening, to show we're paying attention, we use little prompts like, oh really? I see. Oh yeah. I'm with you means I understand. Wow. Is that right? Is that right? It's really the same as, oh really? So these are a few phrases and words that you can try building into an introduction. And I would recommend practice, write something similar to the introduction I gave you about me. A way to introduce yourself to strangers. Try something formal and a little less formal, more friendly, but just practice with your friends. And the more you practice, the easier it'll become. Thank you all very much for listening today. There are obviously hundreds of ways to say hello and introduce yourself. We just touched on a few, but I hope you find them useful in starting to use English to communicate. Goodbye.